What's up, Ragin Nation? How's it going? This is Alex Yu, and you're watching a Ragin Ronin movie show. This is just a web series we're talking about upcoming films that matter to me. In this episode, we are going to talk about the new Batman film that's coming out in 2021, titled The Batman. It's directed by Matt Reeves, which is awesome because I really like Matt Reeves as a director. I really enjoyed Cloverfield, and I loved Dawn and War of the Planet of the Apes. So, very, very excited about The Batman. It's coming out in 2 years from now. They're going to start filming later this year. But more specifically, what I want to talk about is the casting of The Batman, or rather Bruce Wayne. Because I'm sure you guys already read the news by now. Robert Pattinson, who's famous for the Twilight franchise, is now Bruce Wayne. And, you know, Bruce Wayne, Batman, has been played by many, many different actors. Adam West, Michael Keaton, Val Kilmer, George Clooney, Christian Bale, Ben Affleck, and now Robert Pattinson. And this news has been going around for, I think, a good 2 weeks now. Actually, maybe even longer. But it was officially declared official by Warner Brothers as of yesterday or this morning. So that's why I want to talk about it now, because I was just waiting for that official confirmation, and now I want to share with you my thoughts. Now, there were two actors that were the candidates. Nicholas Hoult, who of course we know from the X-Men films, X-Men First Class. He plays Beast, Dr. Hank McCoy, and Robert Pattinson, of course, from Twilight. And between the two, I would have preferred Nicholas Hoult. And it's not because I don't like Robert Pattinson, it's because I don't know anything about him. I've never watched a single film that he's in. Now, as you guys already know, there's a lot of backlash about it. There's a lot of fans, boycotting or saying, like, this is the worst casting decision ever. It's a Batman movie. This is the first Batman movie I'm not going to watch. So, and I get that because, a lot of people don't like Twilight. And it's mostly, teenage girls that like Twilight. It's a very, very popular franchise, by the way. It's made a lot of money. But when I first saw the very, very first trailer for Twilight, I told myself that it didn't look good. So therefore, I just wrote it off. Maybe they are good. Maybe they are entertaining. But I'm not even going to watch it because I'm just not interested. Now, between the two, like I said before, I would have preferred Nicholas Hoult. Now, this is just... I made the decision about that because I don't care about Robert Pattinson. But that decision that I liked Nicholas Hoult more was solidified after I watched Dark Phoenix. I really liked Nicholas Hoult in Dark Phoenix. He actually gave off this Bruce Wayne vibe when he was in X-Mansion. He wears that, he dressed very formally like a teacher. Kind of like Bruce Wayne, like walking around in his own mansion, like in Wayne Manor. And when I saw Nicholas Hoult in X-Mansion in Dark Phoenix, I just felt to myself, that's Bruce Wayne. That's Bruce Wayne right there. Why didn't they cast him? Why did they go for Robert Pattinson? I mean, they have their reasons, but oh man, I really, really wish they ended up going with Nicholas Hoult. Now, that being said, what's done is done. It's a done deal. Now, like I said, there's a lot of people boycotting. They say they don't want to watch it. He's going to screw it up. But what do you really know about Robert Pattinson? I really, learned to just not be so judgmental over the years. So I'm not going to say that, he's going to ruin Batman. Because I don't think he will. I think that, he'll put in a good job. And the way that Warner Brothers determined that really was just by putting the bat suit on him. From what I read, they just put the bat suit on him and they just wanted to see, did he look the part? And they went with that, apparently, okay, allegedly. So that's what they went by. But actually, I have always known, and I've always read that Robert Pattinson is actually a solid actor. I've always read that. Now, the reason why we don't know about it is because, well, first of all, I've never seen anything that he's in. On top of that, all his other films that he's in after Twilight were actually a lot of critically acclaimed indie films. A lot of smaller films, a lot of independent films, and a lot of films that I never ended up watching. And I probably won't ever watch. Just because, like, I never cared for them. Like, for example, Cosmopolis. I don't even know what that's even about, or I don't even remember. I think I saw a trailer for it, but it just kind of like just came and went. But like I said, these are films that I never really cared about. But that's because they're really not that big. They're really not that mainstream. The biggest films he's ever been in was 2 Harry Potter films and the entire Twilight trilogy. I mean, Twilight franchise. I think there's 4 or 5 of them. But in any case, after that, he was trying to shed his Twilight persona by working in a lot of independent films, which ended up being very, very critically acclaimed. And therefore, he's actually, a lot of people don't know this, but he's actually a really solid actor. I mean, and I know that, Rotten Tomatoes is a terrible place to use as reference material, but the fact is that people still use it. People hate this website, but the fact is that you still use it. All right. A lot of people who use it are actually hypocrites. They say that, hey man, I never go by Rotten Tomatoes. But the fact is that when a movie's really good, you refer to that fresh tomato. And when a movie's really bad, you still you refer to it, right? You say like, oh man, this movie sucks, man. It had a shitty rating, okay? But anyways, let's take a look at it, like his Robert Pattinson's credits, okay? 2 fresh tomatoes from the Harry Potter films. And then he went on to the Twilight movies, which were all Rotten Tomatoes, okay? But after that, pretty much everything that he's ever worked in after Twilight ended up being a fresh tomato. And I know this might not mean anything to anybody, but the fact is that a lot of critics like the movies that he was in after Twilight. Twilight is more like, it's a commercial film. It's just there to make money, to capitalize. It's really not meant to be art or anything like that. These other films that he worked on were more independent films. There's a lot of more care put into the script. It's not just like a vehicle to just make money, be a big commercial success. And that's why we've never heard of a lot of these films. So, and if you look at Robert Pattinson's, awards credits, he's actually been nominated 24 times and 46 wins. So, I mean, that's a pretty big deal. But then again, these are a lot of awards like, the MTV Movie Awards, Kids' Choice Awards, People's Choice Awards, Teen Choice Awards. That might not matter to anybody. But the fact is that he's also won a lot of independent movie awards. So movies that aren't named Twilight. So people do recognize him as a solid actor if you don't watch any of the Twilight films. He's actually a pretty good actor. I'm gonna give him that. So I'm not gonna write him off right away. First of all, I like Matt Reeves. Second, I love Batman. And third, I'm not gonna go ahead and judge right away. And that's what I want to persuade people to think. To have that way of thinking, because Twilight was only a small chapter of his life. All right? He's still an actor at the end of the day. If you cannot get that Twilight persona out of him, then that's your problem. Okay? But he might end up being a really, really good Batman. Think about it. So many people did not like the idea of Heath Ledger playing the Joker. They really didn't. They were saying like he's gonna make the worst Joker ever, and take a look at what happened. All right, Ben Affleck. People were completely against the idea of Ben Affleck playing Batman in the 2 films that Zack Snyder directed, and look what happened there. He just ended up being an awesome Batman. I mean, that's not just my opinion, but I really love the scenes where he is Batman. Maybe he's not the Bruce Wayne I would have preferred, but he still made a very, very good Batman. I mean, look at that warehouse fight, okay? I mean, he really, really was able to pull off those amazing stunts, and, he really sold the part as really, really a well-trained Batman who could really kick butt. So that was really, really awesome. But people were against the idea of Ben Affleck playing Batman, but if you look at the DC fans and how passionate they are, they defend the hell out of those 2 movies. So, I don't see a problem there. Christian Bale. I thought that Christian Bale, I think he played I'm 50-50 on it. I think he did a decent job as Batman and a decent job as Bruce Wayne, but I don't think he's the best out of those 2 characters. If anything, I think Michael Keaton actually played the best Bruce Wayne, okay? Val Kilmer and George Clooney, I don't really care about. And I will always love Adam West because, like, that's that style of Batman that I loved when I was a kid, right? What Robert Pattinson will bring really all comes down to Matt Reeves' direction of the film, which apparently is going to be more a detective noir type style film. So it's going to be like a more detective style Batman, which is awesome because I loved it in Batman Begins, where Batman was just like, you know, hanging around rooftops listening to you know, like radio frequencies and just doing detective work. That was really cool, right? I love those scenes. I love that Christopher Nolan included that in Batman Begins. But yeah, they're gonna explore more of that, and that's gonna be very exciting because that's you know, that's the origins of, or that's what Detective Comics was, and that's what the early days of Batman was, right? So very cool. But like I said, do not judge a book by its cover. Robert Pattinson might have done Twilight, but he's done a lot of really good, critically acclaimed independent films that we never really are interested in because we don't know about them. They're not like widely advertised. They have smaller budgets. They're not mainstream films. But you know, I'm not going to check them out. But if you want to see how he is as an actor, I invite you to go check them out. I don't even know what movies he starred in, but I'm just not going to judge him negatively based on a franchise that really only took up a, you know, a small chunk of his career. He's done more than that afterwards. So there you have it. So don't be so quick to judge. I mean, what did people think when they cast Michael Keaton as Batman? I mean, before that, we didn't even have social media back then. People were less vocal back then, right? So I didn't even know what people thought, but I'm pretty sure some people were against it. What do you think people thought of when George Clooney was Batman? I only read about the aftermath, just because of, you know, after the movie there was no, and you know, there was really no social media outrage. But you know, when Heath Ledger and when Ben Affleck was cast, oh man, they really took it. So yeah, and Robert Pattinson is now experiencing the same thing, and I just love the fact that they're doing something different. They want to like break out of the mold of just sticking to the same thing over and over again and casting. You know, Warner Brothers, they cast big names in their films, right? Robert Pattinson, I don't think he's a big name. He's only a big name because of that franchise, but I don't think he's really that big of a name, to be completely honest. But I still think of him as a solid actor, and it's not because I've seen any of his movies. It's just because I've read that he was he's an actor that has starred in many critically acclaimed independent films. So that in itself, I think is great because he's picking roles in smaller movies as opposed to just going for you know, a commercial film, which, you know, make a lot of money and then just put his name out there on the map. The reason why he's not so big right now is only because he chose not to star in films like that. So there you have it. I mean, that just means that he's more of a serious actor. And that's something I really respect. So don't be so quick to judge. I know some people won't be able to shed that persona off of him, but I'm just going to say it right here. You shouldn't be quick to judge. It might be one of the next best casting decisions in comic book movies. So you never know. Don't boycott right away. Don't make that decision right away. Well, let's see what Matt Reeves does, considering he is a really great director, okay? Anyways, that's all I gotta say. I just wanted to share with you my thoughts about Robert Pattinson being cast as Batman. I still think Nicholas Hoult would have looked the part better, but I don't know what he looked like as in the suit. I saw what he would have looked like as Bruce Wayne, as he was standing there in X Mansion. With his wardrobe on. I mean, he really looked like a young Bruce Wayne, and he really looked cool. Like, I could just picture it right away. But the decision has been made. What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comment section below. What are your thoughts after what I have mentioned about not judging someone? I want to hear your thoughts about that. Were you somebody that was quick to judge, you know, before watching this video? Were you somebody that said no, right? Because I never felt that way, right? Because it's just like how I feel about not making videos like this until I've seen confirmed information. I don't want to be quick to judge. I want I want to really put some thought into it before I decide whether or not to, go watch this movie. So I'm gonna put some thought into it, and I think you should put some thought into it. All right. As always, if you enjoyed this episode and you want to see more, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, like me on Facebook, The Ragin Nation. Also follow me on Twitter, Ragin Nation. My name is Alex. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace.